Back at it again, Bears fans. We're running it back with Matt Eberflus. Breaking news happening just about an hour ago or so. The Chicago Bears will retain Matt Eberflus as their head football coach. Moves that they did make were to fire Luke Getzey, fire quarterbacks coach was it Adam Janoko? Either way, they're not going to be here um, anymore. But we will retain Matt Eberflus as the head football coach of the Chicago Bears. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. You had an opportunity to seize a moment to really make a statement about where your football team is headed and where you want them to be. Multiple head coaches out there, and I'm not just talking about Jim Harbaugh. You got Mike Vrabel. People have been talking about Mike Tomlin. Brian Flores. There's quality coaches out there that I feel would be a better fit and have better decision making in crucial moments of the game than Matt Eberflus. Now, I told you guys before, and I hate that I was right about it, but I could see this. It's not what I want, but I could have seen this because at the end of the day, it seems like the Chicago Bears still are operating the same way, backwards. I like the idea of getting rid of the offense or starting anew. But I think the entire staff, and that includes Matt Eberflus, deserve the chopping block. Um, we talked about the progress, and there was progress on defense, but you had two individuals that decisions that you made, two individuals on your coaching staff that you brought in here that ended up being HR risks, right? That ended up not benefiting the team whatsoever. One in your guy, Alan Williams, who you praised highly, that wasn't running your defense well, that was doing something else on the side and is now gone. Some of the decisions that he's made throughout this football season have just it was leaning on me that the Bears could make a huge splash, change all of our minds, do something great, be better, strive to be great. But it just seems to me that they rather have emotions and relationships be at the forefront of winning, right? Instead of winning being the main thing, how they feel and how their friends feel seem to be the most important thing for the Chicago Bears. Guys, the super chats are open. I'm going to try to get to some of your questions here, but if you punch in the super chat, you will get your answer, your question up there. About fucking time, long overdue. I understand, but it's not enough for me, Ernest. I just feel like you should have cleaned house completely. John, that's how we take the North Boys. Lame duck head coach, below an average quarterback in his third offense, and below average quarterback in his third offensive system, guaranteed to work. Yeah, we haven't even heard anything about Justin yet, and I just have this feeling Justin's staying. For me, I would rather it be, like I said, I'd rather it be wiped clean completely and we move forward. But now you're going to get, now we'll have Matt Eberflus, who's going to have, I don't know whether he's going to be picking his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator, or will it be Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, or a combination of the three? I'm not sure, but it doesn't make any sense to me to continue to put head coaches and quarterbacks in bad positions. You got, like John said, a lame duck head coach going into his third year. This is a win or go home year. Win or you're fucking fired. You've already moved on from your offense. Your entire offensive staff is gone. You're gonna get a new defensive coordinator in here. So moves have already been made on the coaching staff once. If we go into next year and we don't have the production that we should expect immediately, not in week fucking 8, not after we've dropped multiple football games. We need to have the production immediately. And if you don't have that, it's an abject failure in my eyes. You failed to make this team better because you wanted to stick with a guy that you have some affinity for, that you feel like is your buddy. I can't live another year going through this this same shit. I can't watch football next season if it's going to be the same crap. Look at the first fourth quarter loss, the first fourth quarter collapse that this team would have next year. you need to fire everybody. And then where the hell are we? And then where the hell are we? Are we going to continue to make excuses for them? We shouldn't. We shouldn't. There should be no excuses whatsoever. And the progress in this offseason, Ryan Poles, the spotlight is on you now. The spotlight is on you. You've chained yourself to to Matt Eberflus. You've made it clear. This is my guy, thick and thin. You're gonna have to fire me to get rid of him. Well, if it doesn't work, they're gonna fire ass to get rid of him. So both of you will be gone. So you better hope, Ryan Poles, that you go knock this offseason out of the fucking park. And not only, in both draft and free agency. You need players that can contribute right now, and you need to go find them immediately. It shouldn't be this drawn out process where find some dogs, put them on this team, and let's see what they could do. But you better hope, Ryan Poles, that this is the guy. Because if it isn't, we'll be seeing you later next year too. All right? We'll be seeing you later. There will be no Ryan and Matt come next season if this is an abject failure. Abe Lopez, garbage franchise run by garbage ownership who hires garbage GMs and coaches. That seems to be the feeling, Abe. That seems to be the feeling around Chicago as of right now. And to be honest with you, around the league, I've been seeing a lot of Packers fans commenting that they're happy with it, right? They're happy with it. You heard the Packers fans cheering to keep Justin. It's embarrassing when other teams are looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Especially that team from the North. What are you guys doing? Where are you going with this franchise? Ryan and Matt are their football guys. That's what it is. That's what it is. A Trace Kane, same old shit. Flus should have went too. The coordinator worth of shit will want to be here with a lame duck coach and a rookie QB or Fields in a do or die situation. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna be interesting seeing who will be willing to take the mantle as OC if they're not given that number one pick, right? And they're told that you're gonna work with Justin Fields, and that's it. Because I mean that's where it's going. That's where I feel like it's going. You're going to ask a guy to come in here, teach this young quarterback, or try to reinvent Justin Fields, and all the while you're sitting there like, am I gonna have a job next season if we don't get it done? Am I gonna have a job next season if this is gonna take longer than a year? Are you gonna be working with the Chicago Bears a year after if Matt Eberflus and company don't get the job done? No. So it's going to be, I think there's going to be somebody that will be willing to. I just don't think it's going to be the guy anybody's going to want. It's going to be probably a younger guy who's trying to make a name for himself and who's willing to kowtow to anything that the higher ups and the coaches above him say. So you're going to find a yes man who is going to want to make a name for himself. First coaching job, you'll probably find another first-time OC, and they're going to run it back like that. Josh Ward, as soon as Eberflus took over the defensive play calling, they played better. I knew they were keeping him. Yeah, I mean that's what they do. That's what they do, right? I mean it's their MO. It's who we like, and that's it. It's not who works. It's not who fits. It's who we like. Who fits our personality mode. Not necessarily on the football field, but off the football field, right? It's all about the semantics and how the coach operates socially, in a social setting. I just want a coach that puts fucking W's in the win column. That's it. And if Matt Eberflus can't do that, you won't be seeing him very long next season. Reich can sit at home and collect $7 million from Carolina. Why would he want to be involved with this mess? Absolutely right. Frank Reich. I don't know if we're going to see Frank Reich ever again on the sideline, to be honest with you. It's not because, he's a bad coach. It's just, hey man, you got $70 million coming to you because you got hired by an idiot down in Carolina. I would sit on my couch and collect too. You wouldn't see me again if I had $70 million. Oh my gosh, somebody else is paying me? Oh, perfect. I'll be on the beach. They 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 more than doubled their wins last year, and they also that was also the problem if you wanted Flus gone. Correct. Correct. They ended up winning more games than they did last season, and it's been well documented about who they beat. I'm a believer that you just beat the team who's across from you. I mean, regardless of who they are. They beat some bums, right? They were bum slaying a little bit, but they did have opportunities that they didn't come through with. They didn't finish with. That could have changed the whole narrative of this. It could have made it look a little bit better, made you have some hope. But they ended up losing to Denver. They ended up losing to Detroit. They ended up losing to Cleveland. And you see the flaws, you know, even more. You see the wrinkles even more with this coaching staff and the decisions that they've made so far this season. Micah, if you get rid of Fields, you ruin the locker room. Period. I'm not a selfish fan. I don't want to see this shit of a franchise ruin another young guy, sell the team, and then go from there. Yeah, a lot of people don't want a lot of look. If you're for Fields, if you're against Fields, how confident do you feel that this organization is going to for in Fields' case is going to turn around and give him the opportunities that they weren't giving him, or turn around and give him the protection that he needs? And how do you feel that they're going to go ahead and develop a younger guy better than they did Justin Fields? It's just I have no faith in what this organization is doing right now. Uh, you see some progression, but then you see what they did against the Green Bay Packers, where it all sucked. Where no matter how good the team was progressing before, it just reverted back to the same old status quo. Not executing, not calling correct plays, not throwing the ball in an entire third quarter. Partially why Luke Getsy should have been fucking fired, and just an overall too conservative approach to defense in a certain spot in Green Bay, in that Green Bay game. And it's happened in other games too where they've gone too conservative. Look, I don't want to be talking about this come next season. I really don't. I don't want to be talking about they're too conservative on third down. I just want to be talking about excellence. And I'm not sure if we're going to get that. I'm not sure if we're going to get that. I told you I believe in the roster. I believe they can add a lot of quality talent this offseason. I could have faith in Ryan Poles there. He has brought in some talent. He's made a couple mistakes, but he's brought in some talent. Now we just got to trust. We got to see if we can trust him in evaluating coaches. And I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't see it as a positive right now. Maybe I'll be wrong. I feel like this team is going to be in the exact same spot that we are now come next season, and we're going to be talking about this shit all over again. Kyle, this organization only cares about money. That is it. Flus is the problem, and they keep him. The time was now. Too many pieces to entice a coach, and they blew it. Yeah. I would tell you I was a liar if I wouldn't have been happy if you got a Jim Harbaugh, if you got a Mike Vrabel, whatever. You needed to strike now when the iron was hot, and you just didn't. You just didn't. Once again, not good enough. On the field, off the field, not good enough. Please decide the quarterback position before getting an OC, or please agree that whatever the OC you hire wants as a QB, because this is always the biggest mistake in the order of things. Yeah, I 100% correct, Bill. 100% correct. You need to figure out what you're going to do with Justin. We need to hear those plans, soon. I think that they're going to have a press conference coming a little later at about, I think they said 2 Central Time, but I think it's more like a guesstimate than a solid concrete time. But nonetheless, I want to hear what they have to say. I'll be at work. That's why I'm coming to you guys a little bit, bringing the show to you guys a little bit earlier. I want to see where their thought process is, because and Kevin Warren as well. I really want to hear what Kevin Warren has to say, and not in some, made for, like, just not in some clip where he says all the good things and he's all positive and yeah, boop boop bop bop. We're the Bears, shuffling crew. I don't need I don't need a happy-go-lucky. Hey, we're doing this. Don't blow smoke up my ass. Just tell me where the direction of the football team is going and why you've made these decisions. Kevin Warren has a lot. Like there's a lot still to prove with Kevin Warren, and I feel like he's going to be a positive for us. But right now, I don't have 100% faith. We'll say that. You need to show me what you can do as a team president before I'm going to give you my full um, fledged allegiance. It needs to be said. It needs to be done. Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, spotlights on you. This shouldn't be it shouldn't be a press conference where they're beating around the bush or they're hiding from things. It should be very direct. It should be very honest with how the operation of the team was this year. They should be very honest about how the quarterback play was, how the offense was, especially if you're firing the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. Don't tell me that everything was all right. You obviously had issues there. Axeman, anyone ever notice how we should be milking clock with the lead? We snapped the ball with 6 to 8 seconds on the play clock instead of 1 to 2. Terrible situational football. Yeah, that's part of it. Axeman, that's definitely part of it. Like I pointed to, first time head coach, first time offensive coordinator, first time, it was a first time for everything. And you're obviously going to have these ugly, ugly growing pains. But in my opinion, those growing pains, like you can't ignore them. You can't just sweep them under the rug and chalk them up to that because they were very big growing pain. They were tragic. And you know what I mean? Those losses, those fourth quarter collapses were horrid. So, whatever happens moving forward, whatever they say at 2:00, I hope that that's something that they make an emphasis to get better at. Situational football, how they operate from the game to game, and honestly, you just need consistency on offense. Find an identity. Find a guy who's going to call plays that you're successful at time and time again, regardless of the situation. Find somebody that's going to coach up his players to execute like that, because there was too many times where we're bouncing around wondering, what offense are we? Who are we as an offense? We're one play we're running downhill, the next play we're in spread, and then the next drive we're doing it was ass backwards and a struggle from the start. You need to find some consistency there. But again, I feel like it's just only a half-ass approach to what should have been done after the season. Where do we go from here? With the number one pick, do you draft down and get Marvin Harrison Jr.? I don't think that's what you should be doing at all. I think at this point, we've seen Justin Fields. I want to see something different. I want to see somebody who's a little bit more polished at the position. I want to see an offensive, like I said, I want to see an offensive coordinator who's consistent in his philosophy. I just think Justin, as talented as he is, I haven't seen enough from him. I haven't seen enough from him to have total confidence moving forward. Let's see who else we got. Bob can add all the talent we want, but if we cannot coach, it will change nothing. Oh, nothing will change. How many of Green Bay's wide receivers in the O-line are Pro Bowl players other than when they play the Bears? That's absolutely right, Bob. It's absolutely right. Coaching matters. Hopefully we know they know something that we don't know about Matt Eberflus. I'm guessing they don't. I'm guessing this is a strictly based off of the relationship that Ryan Poles has. He did also, like I said, the defense did improve, but your team should have been better than what they were, and it came down to coaching. Your team was in position to win multiple more games, right? More games than they did. And your decision making as a coach, your decision making in allowing Luke Getsy to make decisions on those all fall under the head coach, right? Even if it is Luke Getsy calling the plays, Matt Eberflus can walk up to his OC and dictate what the hell he wants. He can tell Luke Getsy, hey man, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? He never did. I'd never seen it. I'd never seen it on the sideline. I never seen you never got that feeling going into a second half that Matt Eberflus made his stamp on this second half. He made it a point on what he wants, and they're going to go from there. It just seemed like nobody knew what the fuck they wanted. Unapologetic truth. Everyone says they trust Poles only when he does what they want. Trust the process. I get it. Look, I trust that he can evaluate talent. I don't know if he can evaluate coaching. I'm not sure. And like I said before, unapologetic truth. Now he's anchored to Matt Eberflus. Now they're a tandem. They're a partnership forever. If this doesn't work, they don't work. And they got to go. It's not just a Matt Eberflus thing anymore. It's now a Eberflus and Poles situation. So they have to make it work next season. Ryan Poles has to be successful in the draft. He has to be successful in free agency, or they're going to find themselves right back here, except, with Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus headed out. It's my opinion, man. I feel like it's more of a reality than it is a fantasy coming next year. Holy shit. I just saw fucking Chase Daniels throw his hat in the ring for a QB coach job on Twitter. Please, God, no. If that's the case, please don't do this. Don't go ahead and start bringing in guys. Just don't do this. And I don't hate Chase Daniel, but that's not how we do it. That's not how we should do it. It'll be ass backwards. You just bring a guy, and I know he's a former quarterback, but you just bring him off of YouTube, and yeah, now you're our quarterback's coach. Well, you could do that with half the guys on, half the guys on YouTube. Then, if you're gonna do that, just go in and bring in YouTubers to be our coordinators. The 85 team had balls, 100% teams all in one. Balls, 100 teams all in one. The McCaskies have been apologizing for being that bold ever since. You know what, Ben? That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. There was an attitude in the 80s, in the 90s. There was there was that tough attitude. I'm gonna spit in your eye and step on you while you're down, and we're gonna go ahead and get this victory. Just nasty. That's the football that we enjoyed, right? Football that you loved, that you grew up and knowing. But the personalities were just too much for this family, right? The big, strong, I'm not going to take any crap type of personality scares these people. And to be honest with you, I almost feel to a point that personality is in their eyes beneath them. Right? Beneath them. This, tough, get in your face, punch you while you're down type of attitude in order to get the victory. That scares these people. And that's why you see a consistency. Look, you had Dick Duran, who I don't have a problem with Dick Duran, but the demeanor, right? You had Lovey, you had Tressman, you had John Fox, you had Matt Nagy. Now, all these guys just seem to be the same dude, just at different ages and different spots in life. They all seem to be the same type of mold, right? Not too loud, not going to make a fuss in the media, not going to say things that make people uncomfortable. It's all about comfort for them at Halas Hall. If they're not comfortable, well, then nothing can work. But we've been comfortable for way too fucking long, man. It's been way too long that we've been sitting here comfortable with how the Bears have been operating. If the money's coming in, then why be upset, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but that's kind of where my mind is going now. It's like, do you really give a fuck? Do you really care, or do you want to just show that you care? Robert Cook seems like they saw enough progress with JF1, but the mechanics not using middle of the field, they put on the coaches, and the sequences of the offense were seemingly so bad they couldn't be overcome. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Justin needed to be better. The coaches needed to be better. I think they did Justin a disservice for the past 2 seasons. Not to mention his first year with Nagy. Justin hasn't gotten the best. Like he has his flaws, but I also, you want to think that maybe if he's coached up better, maybe if he has a couple years on the bench to learn and grow from a veteran guy, and he's coached up, every single practice, every single game, every single offseason, he's being coached up until he's ready to go, like a Jordan Love. I would think that Justin would have some better success and be a more polished quarterback. But what they needed a guy to win now. They needed a guy to keep the fans in the stands and not have them slip away because of the lack of success that the team was having. So they get Justin Fields, they throw him to the Wolves, and here we are. Right? Here we are. He's not where we want him to be, and we don't know whether he'll ever get there for the Bears. So J Rock, I can assume that they're keeping Flus because there are no big time head coaching names available. What? If some pop up, the Bears should move on from another coach. J Rock, I mean, there's a lot of names available, sir. John Harbaugh, or Jim Harbaugh. You got Mike Vrabel. Belichick might be free soon. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of names, and they should have moved on. That part you're right about, J Rock. They should have moved on to another coach, but again, they didn't. Bill Wagner, I can't believe we're going to do the new QB and the lame duck HC again. Ugh, yeah. Same old Bears. They're going to do it again to you. They twist the knife once you're even when you're down. They just keep twisting the knife. Harbaugh would make everyone in the building uncomfortable. They would rather lose comfortably. That's exactly right, Ryan and Rhythm. They would rather lose comfortably than be uncomfortable and winning. Harbaugh not inbound. Yes, that's correct, Dr. Horschel. He's not coming. He won't be here. It will not be him. Warren sucks. Poll sucks. Bears suck. Owners suck. Yet we cheer. Right now I'm not cheering for it. Right now I'm very uncomfortable with how comfortable the Bears are operating after this season. Elmer, who gives a damn what happens at all? These fans rapping McCaskies are never getting this right. They are the lowest forms of dirt. The fans deserve better. I don't know if they're the lowest forms of dirt. I think they're just not good football players, or not good football people. Not football people at all. And honestly, this one leans more on Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles than anything. I truly believe that they're making the decisions in tandem right now. I don't think that George is. And if Georgia is involved, then there's something else that we have other bigger fish to fry. But I think Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles were hand in hand in this. They're working together, and this is a decision they made. But yeah, it's weird. You got your choices, right? Like if let's say you're a bachelor, you got your choice of, you got I don't know who's a hot chick. You got a Jessica Alba, right? And you got I don't know who's another hot chick. You got another hot girl there, and then you decide to go ahead and choose Roseanne. You know what I'm saying? It's like why are we sitting here settling when we could go ahead and be aggressive and make a splash deserving of a new football stadium? Right? Jim Harbaugh and the Chicago Bears in a new football stadium sounds a lot better than Matt Eberflus and a new football stadium. Right? It's baffling, man. It crushes me every single time. You just want the best for your team, and they continue to give you mediocre shit. Who's going to be that's exactly the question now, right, DC? Who's going to want to be the OC, knowing that it's a lame duck coach, knowing that they might have to be forced to coach Justin Fields if they keep him. It's you're going to have to be a yes man and hope that you get it right in order to keep your job for next year, because the coach is going to be out the door if they don't win. Next year they clean out. What's up, Hans? Next year they clean house. Hopefully they figure it out. But I don't have that feeling. Critical drinker. I guess polls meant to say we're giving away the North and not taking it back. Yeah, at this point, that's very, very true. I don't know the thought process. The only thing I could tell you is that the good old boy type of approach. My buddy, he has to get it done. My buddy could get it done. Is where I'm at with this. Is what their decision was like. My buddy could get it done. We're going to keep my buddy. And if my buddy and I don't get it done, well, I guess you're out the fucking door. I would hope. JF1 can't read defenses. Well, I think he can read defense. I just don't think he's a polished enough quarterback to get the ball out quick. And sometimes he panics a little bit much. Let's see. Who else we got down here? Mediocre gamer. If we go into next year with a rookie instead of Fields, Flus and the staff will have a longer leash. I'm not saying I agree with it, but being a Bears fan, I expect nothing less. It's a good point. I don't see how, I would be upset if it did buy him time, especially if you see a lack of progression from the quarterback. Because we should see it. If they're going to go draft a young guy and they're going to put him in there and they're going to start him, well, I better see some fucking progression. I mean, I know he's going to be his rookie year, but weeks 1 through 4 better not look like the last 4 weeks of the fucking season. And this is what it looked like. Like, that's what the last game of this season looked like. It looked like the first. Even with the the winning it there at the end, all of that went away in that last game because you looked like the same football team you were in the first 4 weeks. And that was offense and defense. Needs to be better all the way around. Chase Daniels and Eberflus can have your long press conference about the positives. Yeah, I don't want to hear that either. Because Chase Daniels is a positive guy, which is fine, but if it looks like shit, don't go ahead and polish it up for me and try to feed it to me, dog. Like, don't do that. True Shreve, are the Bears/Bears fans failing into a situation where lack of skill at the quarterback position has caused them to settle for mediocrity instead of risking it for potential greatness? I don't think it's the fans. I think the fans. I think a lot. First of all, I think it's split, but I think a lot of fans are now leaning towards moving on after the end of the year. But for me, you look at what's out there, right? Jim Harbaugh. You could have the best quarterback in the draft if you want, or whoever you feel like is the best quarterback in the draft. For me, it's Caleb Williams. You can have it all, right? You could change the entire outlook. You could be the team of the offseason, right? Nope, we won't. We don't want that. We want to keep the status quo. We want to keep our guy, our buddy, because he's our buddy. And we're going to go on from there. It's the same Bears MO. It's the same type of shit. The only problem is that, or it's not necessarily a problem, but the only thing that I could say is different is now you have Kevin Warren in the building instead of having Ted and George talking about it, but you're going to get this compromise, right? And I was talking to Shane a little bit earlier about it. I feel like they went into the meeting room, right? They said they had extensive talks Monday and Tuesday. I think they went into the meeting room. They laid out all the issues they had with not only Flus, but with the offense and everything, and so on and so forth. One outweighed the other, and they decided to go with one. And Ryan Poles' relationship with Flus and because he was able to take the reins of the defense, make progression after firing two coaches, that's what's leading him into it, right? And plus, they like him as a guy, right? They like him as their buddy. That's how I see it that it went down. I don't like I said, I don't think George had anything to do with any of it. I think it was strictly a Warren Poles decision, but Warren making sure that something was done instead of like the bare minimum. Because if it was a Ryan Poles decision, I dare I say I think he might have ran it back. Maybe not with Justin, but maybe with the offense. Maybe he runs it back with the new quarterback, buys himself some time, buys the offense some time. I just, and I mentioned it before, if that were the case, if nothing changed, I probably would have been more upset than I am now if they would have kept Luke Getsy. But for the simple fact that you needed to make a move, and rightfully so, I felt like the biggest red flag on the team was the offense. But even bigger than that, I feel like they missed out on an opportunity to make a name for themselves, to truly stamp the Bears flag as back in the NFL. And they just didn't do that. They just didn't do that. A lot of questions, trying to get to all your questions, guys. I know I do not have a producer here with me, so it's going to be a little bit trying to get through all of them. Cultures in this franchise and in this town in general, sports-wise, is completely broken. Yeah, it's been very frustrating. Sox, Bulls, Blackhawks, although Connor Bedard is changing that outlook on the Blackhawks, but it's been very frustrating with all the other teams, and with the Bears are the great uniter. I know we have the Bulls and the Hawks, which we get behind, but nothing like the Bears. The Bears in this city are the great uniter, and if they're not winning, nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. Here in Chicago, you get into the winter, you're the sun's down, it's dark, all you have is football, and your team sucks. So you're subject to having to watch other teams in order to watch good football. Like it's so frustrating being a Chicago fan, not only a Bears fan, but a Chicago fan in general. Me with the Cubs. Yeah, we signed a pitcher, which is great. Signed a Japanese pitcher, which is awesome. I'm excited for him. But again, just like the Bears, I want more. I want more. I want more for the Bears. I want more for the city. Just settling for my buddy because he did an all right job does not sit well with me. Collaboration 2.0, that's right. Critical Drinker, that's pretty much where we're at. Jeezy baby, we need to bring Justin back, trade back to number 2 or 3, get Marvin Harrison, and get some O-line help. Let Eberflus cook on the defense and bring in a hot young OC. Like that all sounds good. Like that all sounds fine and dandy, but you trust that Justin's going to finally hit his potential with a hot young OC? Because I mean, we had a young OC in Luke Getsy. I mean, he wasn't like the greatest, but he was a younger OC. He had the same philosophy as LaFleur from the Shanahan tree. I just don't know if that's going to be the best case scenario. And again, I'm not a Justin hater. I don't think he's trash. I just think that the way his career has gone so far, with what he's been presented as far as a line, with the lack of production or the lack of playmakers his first couple of years, and just the lack of quality coaching has really deterred his career. It's really sending it in a downward spiral. Hopefully he could break out of it because I think he's a good young man, and I think he could be a great leader. It's just not working here. Right now, it's just not working here. You have an opportunity to change all that. I think the Bears should do it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. I know I haven't gotten to all the comments, but I appreciate you guys coming in during this breaking news segment. If anything else is breaking, I know the guys are going to be ready for the show tonight. But I feel like I think if something does break, if they do have any type of uh, press conference, just keep a heads out for Phil and Shane uh, jumping in and having a pop up show or something like that to keep you guys up to date. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. What is this? Before you go, Ivan, what are your choices? Whatever are your choices of offensive staff? Robert, I want a guy who's, like I said, I want somebody who's going to remain consistent in their philosophy, right? And I want somebody who's going to understand how to put the quarterback in those positions. So, like, understanding who your quarterback is, understanding his skill set, and using that knowledge to cater your philosophy around him. Because the quarterback, he should be the philosophy. He should be the guy. It should be you work off of your players, you build your offense off of them. That's what it should be. That's what I want, and that's hopefully what I expect. Harbaugh going to the Chargers. Is that official? Talk to me. Talk to me. Is it official? Um, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. You're going to have Justin Herbert. He'll have California Sun. It's sad. It really is, because I thought if anybody was the guy, Jim Harbaugh was the guy. If anybody was going to change this thing around, Jim Harbaugh could change this thing around, and I guess we're just not going to ever find out. Ryan and Matt are our guys. That's what the Bears told you. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I'm Ivan Vargas. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com.